Jesus' saving actions for Lazarus, raising him from the dead. They're nervous and uncertain, wondering if this tenuous miracle could really be. And in their wider community, there's so much unrest, the fears about what is going to happen to Jesus next. We know, after all, that the crucifixion is just days away. But amidst all of this uncertainty, there is, of all things, a dinner party. Mary and Martha and Lazarus have lovingly prepared food to celebrate Jesus, the guest of honor. The conversation is good, guests are laughing, shouting, enjoying the tasty fish and bread, fruits and olives well into the evening. The wine is flowing, maybe there's some candles burning, casting a soft glow over the dry, quiet night. It's a night of revelry that helps drown out some of the chaos that's about to shake up Jerusalem. And as the night goes on, Mary goes into a cupboard and pulls out a fancy box of imported perfume, an expensive perfume, costing a whole year's wages. Mary goes over to Jesus and begins to pour out the entire bottle of perfume on Jesus' feet, the entire household being wrapped in this glorious, sumptuous-smelling perfume. Judas questions this extravagant act of generosity, but Jesus will have none of it. Leave her alone, he says. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. You do not always have me. In the midst of great uncertainty, caught between Lazarus' brush with death and in anticipation of the death Jesus will soon die, having been betrayed by Judas, his own disciple, Mary offers a fragrant and extravagant gesture of care and love. She practices a way of extravagant love, God's way of extravagant love, that speaks even into a story marked by impending betrayal and death, even into a story woven through with uncertainty. God's way of extravagant love insists that even there, even amidst uncertainty and betrayal and death, there can be abundance and extravagance and grace, even there. Perhaps especially there. Amidst the incarnate and tenuous realities of life and death, there is love so extravagant you can smell it. These ways of extravagant love even show up in the passage where we might least expect them. When Jesus says, "You always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me," he's actually making a reference to a teaching in Deuteronomy in which the people are told, "Since there will never cease to be some in need on the earth, I therefore command you, open your hand to the poor and needy neighbor in your land." This little line is hardly a justification for neglecting caring for the less fortunate and privileged, as it's too often been used. This is instead a command to live into God's ways of extravagant love, insisting that because of the uncertainties of real human communities, there will always be occasion to love well and love lavishly, extravagantly. This is what God's extravagant love is all about, and Mary is living into. Mary is following an incarnate God, Jesus Christ, who kept the wine flowing at a wedding as his first miracle, revealing his power through celebration and joy. Who multiplied a few fish and a few loaves of bread into an abundant feast for all. Who gathered people together, saint, sinner, outcast, skeptic, cheat, betrayer alike, insisting there was always room to pull up another chair at the table. And who gave up his own life for the life and joy and love of the whole world. Jesus shows us the ultimate form of extravagant love, and Mary follows this example, pouring out a year's wages in perfume for love. I wonder, what keeps us from living into this extravagant love? Maybe we worry there won't be enough for this extravagant sort of love. And it's ironic because we have more of everything than history has ever seen. More money, more food, more advanced medicine and technology, more stuff than Mary ever could have dreamed. But we are still bound in the realities and uncertainties of being human. We fight with one another. We hurt each other. We're always worried there won't be enough. Enough money, enough love, enough kindness, and there is never enough time. As Jesus reminds us, we will not always have each other. These uncertainties persist, but so do God's ways of extravagant love. So I ask, what would it look like for us to live into this extravagant love? For Mary, this extravagance meant expensive perfume in the face of death. And maybe, if you're anything like a woman named Vicki Hardin Woods, this extravagance means flour, butter, sugar, and fruit in the midst of life changes and national chaos. When a woman named Vicki Hardin Woods retired in 2013, she began a practice of giving away one homemade pie a day for a year. Every day, she planned to give a pie to a new person, often a stranger. That's 365 pies and 365 people in a year. And then, again, after the 2016 election, and every day until the 2017 presidential inauguration, she did the same, giving a pie to a new person every day as she searched for hope in politically fraught times. She worried at first that her efforts wouldn't be enough, but she did it anyway. And as she leaned in, she discovered extravagance and abundance. Now, sometimes people rejected the unexpected gift of a pie from a complete stranger, but oftentimes they responded with some version of, "You made my day. This is the best thing that ever happened to me." Or, "How did you know that I needed this today?" One time she gave a pie to a man named Leo, and she describes the scene like this. "And you know what he did with that pie? He shared it. By the time I got back in my car, he and his two buddies had the pie on the ground in front of them, and they were sitting down, and they each had a fork in their hand, eating hungrily out of the pie plate. For them, that was a community experience." For Vicki and for Leo and for Leo's friends, extravagance bred extravagance. Love bred love. She says about her experiences, "I had a feeling of great wealth. I had 365 pies to give away. I could give a pie to everyone I could think of, and then some." There is human uncertainty. But amidst this uncertainty, there is also glorious extravagance. And if we really lean into God's ways of extravagant love, can you imagine how beautiful it would be? For Mary, leaning into extravagant love meant luxurious perfume amidst a dinner feast, surrounded behind and ahead by experiences of death. For Vicki, extravagant love was the insistence that despite uncertainties like the direction of her life post-retirement and fraught civic life, there was kindness and community to be found in abundance through a few hundred pies. How will you be extravagant for the sake of love? In the words of a prayer I hold close to my heart, life is short. We don't have much time to gladden the heart those who walk this way with us. So be swift to